It's 6:02, called meeting to order. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of March 22nd Select Board meeting.
Let's move. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Are there any discussions about the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay, 5-0. Additions and deletions. We have correspondence from the Vermont Land Trust. We also have, it's going under the highway report, the highway crew member resignation. Under chair's report, the NEMRC Project, the grant from VLCT, and the, let's see, the rescue information, and update on roof repairs. And under new business, the emergency management plan and liquor license. So all those are changes to the current published list under additions. No members of the public. Go with correspondence. In your packet is a letter from the Land Trust about acquisition of property in the Windmill Hill Pinnacle Association project. Basically, it's just letting us know that they're in the process of the grants system, and once the grant has been approved and finalized, the town clerk will receive a copy. But most of it's all there.
And pardon me, is this relevant because the trails connect to kind of Townsend? Because it's out in Putney, right?
They said, no, not the trail, not this one.
The Windmill Hill, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
This one here, there's 53 acres in Townsend.
Oh, all right.
So, Brookline, Townsend, Athens,
Oh,
that area.
okay.
Okay. Warrants, go ahead.
Make a motion to pay the warrants, starting with payroll, $10,309.52. Number 2, payroll, $11,659.56. Number 3, payroll tax, $4,579.11. Number 4, payroll tax, the amount of $4,881.98. Number 5, general fund, $11,581. Number 6, general fund, $4,037.71. Number 7, highway fund, amount of $524.91. Number 8, highway fund, in the amount of $26.95. And number 9, equipment fund, in the amount of $3,386.93, for a total of $50,987.67.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion about any one of the payroll warrants, I'll get this right someday, warrants 1 through 9, with a total of $50,987.67. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, 5-0. Okay. Steve, you're up.
I'll start with a resignation letter dated April 11th, 2022. To whom it may concern, please consider this letter my formal resignation from my position with the town of Townsend, effective April 21st, 2022. At this time, I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to work for a community that I live in and love. I have been presented with an opportunity that will benefit myself and my family, and have decided to move forward with it. Sincerely, Jeremy Zambruski.
We, moving forward, we have a plan for replacing him?
Yes.
Okay. Just if you would go over that so that,
The ad will be in the Commons for next Wednesday, Connie, is that correct? It'll run for 2 weeks, which the paper comes out every Wednesday, so it'll run for 2 weeks. And we put a cutoff date of May
Ooh, I think it was
20th.
Yeah, something like that.
which is a Friday.
Yeah.
okay. Any questions for Steve on that? All right. Anything else?
Yes, we have a couch and box spring that has been dumped at the Athens Road turnaround. It's been there for about 2 weeks now. It'll cost us, I'm not sure what the new rates are for this year, but probably cost us $50 to get rid of it. And I have those funds in the Green Up Day account.
Okay.
If you would like me to pick them up and get rid of them, I will.
Any question?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
And finally, we're getting roads tuned up as they dry out. The grader's been out every day. We've been covering stone, and Robbie's been shaping up the roads as they dry out. Currently, the worst road in town right now is Buck Hill.
Okay.
Passable, but muddy.
Is that a normal, is that one up there a normal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing new. Okay, anything else, Steve?
No, that's it.
Any questions for Steve about the roads and? Okay. Next thing I have is the treasurer's report. Now, we've been working to hone it down a bit so that it's a little more understandable. And I'll have some more information for you here in a little bit. But if you look at this chart, bi-weekly trial balance recap, and look at the lower half of it, where it says the working fund balance is $133,573, less the reserve, or things that are designated already for other projects, puts us in the hole on the budget only, $11,046. Now, it doesn't mean that we're in the hole as far as the bank goes, where our funds are pretty stable. The municipal investment fund is $563,748.17, and the checking account is always at $30,000. But what this represents is actually what we have available before we start collecting the next bit of taxes. It lets us know right away where we're at and where we need to be careful. Any questions on that?
Have you guys always done it that way, or is this a new?
No, this is something we started this year so that we
Okay.
can track or bi-weekly where exactly the accounts are at.
Great idea, okay.
In your packet is a copy of the town clerk's report counting my bank deposit of $3,369.30. Okay, now on to what I have for you. I wanted, as a side to that treasurer's report, we have been working on, we started last week with NEMRC. NEMRC is the accounting system that basically takes care of our general fund, takes care of the listers, takes care of the town clerk. It's one package of software that does all of these things. But one of the things that we run into, especially, one of the things that we run into is that those funds are very difficult to get an accurate picture on where the balances are. So basically, what we're trying to do is realign those numbers in the types of accounts so that when you run a report, say you're looking for computer expenses, instead of going to 6 different places, you'll get that report on every computer expense that's flagged under that line. You'll also know where in the budget that it's from, and it's simply a process of realigning the numbers so that under the three different what they call the 100s, 200s, and 300s segments of line items, one thing like the computer expenses in the 100s will be, let's say, 200. The last 3 digits will be 200. In the 200s, computer expenses will be 450. In the 300s, and there isn't really any computer expense in the 300s, that's mainly highway, but if there were, it would be like 185. So this is to bring them all of these funds or these accounting practices into one easy to figure out what we're spending money on. And it's gonna become more and more necessary as we move forward. There's not a lot of extras in the budget. There's what we need, what we anticipate needing, and a little bit more. But it's how we can best figure out what we're spending on money, where and when. And there'll be another one. We were supposed to have a meeting this Monday. Things kind of got in the way, so we're gonna have another meeting on next, I think is it next Monday? Yeah, next Monday. The plan is for these revisions to be in effect as of the first of the budget year, July 1st. So, more to come.
Is that all facilitated by one person, or is that program maintained by?
The treasurer.
Okay.
The treasurer maintains it.
Has it proven to be pretty easy?
No,
Okay.
it's extraordinarily complex.
That's what I
And
thought.
if you look at the budget, if you look at the budget report, deciphering where things are or where things should be, it takes a lot of time. And I spent, during budget season, I spent probably a week here going through every line item in the budget, trying to get clarification on things that just didn't make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Any, all set? Okay. So we talked about NEMRC. There's a grant out from VLCT, who is our insurance carrier, as well as gives us legal input when we request. They're actually a very valuable resource, but every year they do an equipment grant for towns to limit liability. You have to demonstrate in the grant that you're limiting liability. This year, in past years, they would fund 50% of your allotted, and they have a whole formula to figure out how much you're allotted. But this year, they decided to fund 100% of it. So, one of the big areas that we have is heavy equipment that is difficult to see behind fire trucks. One of the dump trucks and
In the grader.
the grader. So I put in for 6 of these backup cameras that will be totally, well, all but probably $50 or $60 funded by VLCT. So that's ready to go and go in. We have to wait for approval of it. Once the approval comes back, we can make the purchases and get them installed. Just a way to limit our potential liability. Okay, that's set. I gave you the paperwork on rescue. Rescue Inc. is in an issue with the town of Brattleboro, and you've probably seen in the newspaper that the town of Brattleboro pulled out of the Rescue Inc. Services. And what that's going to do is potentially cost more money for their services. There's gonna be a meeting on May 19th down at Rescue to find out, what the implications are. This is a meeting that happens every year. I'm gonna go down. Any of you are welcome to go down. Connie's gonna go down as well to see what the impacts are. We've already calculated what we can spend on rescue services in town for the next 3 years. So the budget's in, it's set by the voters, so something to keep an eye on. All right. Roof repair. We've been trying to do this for a while. There's a leak on the upstairs into the
Stage area.
stage area, yeah. And we've been trying to get a couple of local people to come look at it. We've tried for months and no luck. So Charlie Marchant suggested an outfit by the name of Janowitz and Sons in North Walpole. They're a roofing company. We would have liked to have done this business with people here in town, but for whatever reason, that's not happening. So I was just looking for your input on going with Janowitz or, you know, going outward. This company also has to be able to fix that porch leak, whatever's going on that's causing that front porch to be falling apart. Any thoughts?
Have you tried any other companies outside here besides Janowitz?
We haven't called them. I didn't want to call them until I got you guys, your input about this.
I'd like to see us try to, I mean, obviously get a hold of Janowitz, but try a couple other places too if we can.
All right. Any suggestions?
Well, give me a couple minutes and
Okay.
get my brain warmed up.
Well, let Connie know, and we'll do that. We'll follow up with that. I like I said, I wanted to do it with local people, but for whatever reason, they're not available. Let's see, that takes care of that. Now, we've gone through that, the roof repair, we've gone through the grants, okay. The emergency management plan, this is a document that we have to fill out every year. It's in the package, it is, it's one of the requirements to get federal and state funding for disasters. There's this, and we need a disaster mitigation plan, which we're working on. This has to be voted on by the select board and then signed off on and sent to the state. I'm the one that wrote it. It's the emergency management director's obligation to do. There's not much different about it except for some phone numbers and emails. There are other parts that go with it, but they haven't been completed because we just haven't had time. But this is the minimum that the state requires in order to be able to get that funding. So, is there, as you've looked through it and you see anything with any questions, I'd like to call for a vote, entertain a motion to accept the local emergency management plan for municipal adoption. We can discuss if you have any issues.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. As you look through it, is there anything you have any questions about? I will point you to a figure on the page. It's on page 2, emergency spending limits. That's been $10,000 for the last couple of years because of the changes in the expenses. I upped it this year to $15,000, and this is not a budgeted item. This is all this is a placeholder amount that the board grants the authority to spend up to $15,000 for emergency issues. Like if we had to, feed people, or we needed somebody right then and there to make, move material that the highway people couldn't move. So, any questions?
Is there I'm assuming there's a limit on how much you can request or put aside?
We don't put aside. All that number is what the board authorizes expending without further action. So
Got it.
we end up with something that's a major emergency. Well, let's take the floods in July. Where we initially started out with was using the $10,000 to take care of whatever emergencies that were right then and there we needed to get a hold of. If somebody needed some money to get materials or something like that. We ultimately didn't use it. We put the money into a different line item that is a placeholder until the federal reimbursement comes back. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
It gives Sherwood the power to spend that money without having to call 3 board members together and vote on it.
yeah,
Perfect.
great.
So you can make the executive, the immediate call.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Any other questions? Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And let's see, that's 5-0. The last thing that I have, I think it's the last thing that I have, is there's a liquor license request. And this is from West River Community Project. There's actually two. They want to renew their first-class liquor license, and they want to renew their outside permit for their liquor license. Have we had any complaints that anybody knows of? Has there been any complaints about this?
No.
How about the outside?
No.
Not for a while, they dialed it in, I think, and we haven't heard anything
Okay.
since then.
So, nobody has any objections to moving forward with this? All right, so I'd entertain a motion to grant the request for their renewal of West River Community Projects.
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
It's been moved, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Left side only.
yep.
Still doing it?
I only get to do it about 4 times a year.
There's that. Now let's take on the outside permit, doing that one separately. Entertain a motion to grant the request for an outside consumption permit to the same entity.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Sherman,
Okay.
you have the Windham solid waste.
Oh, yes, the solid waste, thank you.
That's pizza without beer.
That's right. All right, solid, I did have one other thing. Thank you, Connie. Windham Solid Waste Management is asking for a letter of support for a grant that they're requesting to add to their facility. It's something that I had asked to have Irv here for, and Irv is ill. So that it's due before he can come back. Make sure you sign under the approved stuff. So basically, they just want a letter that we support them in their efforts to get this grant to improve their, I think it has to do with their composting.
Double the capacity of like
Yeah.
composting.
Down to 2,000, from 2,000 yards to 4,000 yards per year, something like that.
Yes.
All right, is entertain a motion to write the letter to support them getting their grant.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, this is, I guess they're going to Senator Leahy and Representative Welch to get this money to take care of this. All right, all those in favor of sending the letter in support, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, so we'll get that crafted and out the door. And that's it. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. And in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're done.